Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pisces New Moon Meditation. For those who are new, we meet to meditate monthly at the new and full moons as a service to humanity, and through our aligning and working with extraplanetary energies, make them available for planetary healing and redemption. The peak opportunity to work with the energies of Pisces will be at 9:24 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time, for those who may also wish to meditate at the exact time. Pisces is becoming prominent in humanity's mind because of a growing awareness that Earth is moving out of the Piscean age and into the Aquarian. Much has been written, but the significance of this is in the influence the energies of these constellations offer humanity for its evolution. We also come together in recognition of our part in the new group of world servers. Our group consists of servers who are linked together subjectively by one main objective, that of alleviating human suffering. We are doing this through many means, but primarily by helping humanity to contact and know the plan. In the Aquarian age, this plan will be realized through the manifestation of the principles of goodwill, group consciousness, and right human relations within the human kingdom. We as a group are here to demonstrate these principles, to show humanity the way forward into a more secure and loving future. As the new group of world servers, we are new within the human kingdom. As a group, we have become a saving force or world savior and the ajna center of our planetary life. As we transition into the new age, we are also here to model for humanity new ways of working together, to show humanity that through cooperation and respect for the rights and opinions of others, many different ideas of a possible future for humanity can be synthesized into a positive and shared vision for all. By doing this, we are also helping humanity to restore its birthright of abundant health and plenty for all. Our group is made up of servers from every nation, culture, religion, and ethnic background, all united in the goal of improving the human condition. This year is also the year for the festival of the new group of world servers. It is a time of profound recognition and of alignment for our group, externally and subjectively. The festival is celebrated every 7 years in alignment with a significant and vast constellation that is important to our planetary evolution. It is also through Uranus in the sign of Capricorn that this energy is made available to Earth for this work. For this reason, the festival happens in December and will be happening this year from the 21st to the 28th. A full moon will also be occurring during the festival week, which makes this festival year a particularly powerful and important opportunity for our group and its work. Let us say together, in recognition of our group and its role in helping humanity to move forward into the Aquarian age, the affirmation of the new group of world servers. May the power of the one life pour through the group of all true servers. May the love of the one soul characterize the lives of all who seek to aid the great ones. May we fulfill our part in the one work through self-forgetfulness, harmlessness, and right speech. The Aquarian age is also bringing with it the energy of the seventh ray. This ray lord is a cosmic being of tremendous energy and force, whose consciousness stimulates and has a profound impact for life on Earth. For humanity, this can be understood through this great Lord's name, or keynote, that of the Lord of ceremonial order and magic. His effect on humanity is increasing through the order and organization that he brings, and we can see manifesting in the world, impacting all aspects of human civilization and culture. With this power to order, organize, and manifest, he is bringing forth greater beauty in all its forms and in all kingdoms, which is enabling humanity to create at a level never imagined in its history before. The effect of the seventh ray can also be seen through the modern practices of business and organizational management, and its ability to galvanize humanity in cooperative efforts towards its betterment. Humanity has learned there is a greater chance of survival for those who can cooperate. Science has documented this phenomena, and it is known in biological studies that the more cooperative a species, the more sophisticated, intelligent, and advanced it becomes. Nature rewards those who can cooperate. It also indicates that the skill of cooperation is the future for life on Earth. This is the essence of the new teaching on discipleship also. Groups, rather than individuals, are the new model for initiation through group work and service. Modern research on corporate management and teamwork is also reporting similar findings. In an attempt to synthesize some of the ideas of these two streams of thought, 5 principles and 5 challenges to group work are offered to understand how groups can work together more successfully. These ideas were drawn from the Tibetans' work on the new group of world servers, creative hierarchies, and the 7 laws of the soul or group life. The management theory was drawn from Patrick Lencioni's The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, Peter Senge's The 5th Discipline, and Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The Tibetans' ideas have offered humanity a crucial new perspective on how to navigate modern discipleship and group work. New ideas in organizational management are also demonstrating that the new group of world servers are working through all departments of human endeavor with the plan, focused on meeting real-world needs in a meaningful and measurable way. Let's review some of the ideas from these 5 principles and 5 challenges to group work. The 5 principles of effective group work. Effective group work is only possible when those working together can transcend individualism and serve a larger purpose. Principle number 1, the alignment with a greater purpose or plan. Groups must have a shared vision or higher purpose that focuses and motivates individuals in the group to transcend personal limitations in service to humanity through a subjective recognition of the plan. Senge and Covey highlight building a common mental model and beginning with the end in mind. Without this, efforts fragment. Creative hierarchies illustrate how groups channel higher creative energies when aligned to those they are here to serve. Principle number 2, cultivation of right human relations and trust. Foundational to all group coherence is healthy relationship dynamics and a culture of trust. The Tibetan describes this as subjective welding through goodwill, telepathic rapport, and harmless right relations among group members. Lencioni refers to vulnerability-based trust by admitting weaknesses, and Covey's promotes a win-win agenda for the group. This enables a shift from personality separatism to group soul fusion and can prevent office politics and enable greater emotional safety. Principle number 3, development of group consciousness and synergy. The whole must become greater than the sum of its parts. Strength in numbers is the rule. The new groups are teaching humanity to move beyond individual consciousness to a group soul identification, which is more organic than rigid in structure. Covey describes this as synergy, and Senge calls it team learning. Creative hierarchies need unified groups to allow energy to flow through them and produce a unified power field for others to contact. Principle number 4, service resulting in commitment and accountability to the group. Groups thrive through pledged action and mutual service rather than a focus on individual goals or personality concerns. This demands a willingness for the individual to sacrifice for the greater good. The new groups are demonstrating service and sacrifice to the plan so that it can be materialized. Lencioni and Collins call it peer accountability while keeping results in the front of the group's awareness. Principle number 5, creative and hierarchical integration through learning, growth, and adaptation. Groups must continue to evolve in greater group consciousness or systems thinking and greater intuitive responsiveness to the problems and challenges that face them. Senge calls it the 5 disciplines: personal mastery, mental models, shared vision, team learning, and systems thinking. There are also key challenges for this new kind of group work which can be identified and in which a few ideas are described briefly in the following list. 5 challenges to effective group work. These are the recurring pitfalls of achieving group consciousness or group soul alignment. Challenge number 1, absence of trust. Group members feel they must hide their thoughts, feelings, or vulnerabilities for fear of judgment. Lencioni calls it a foundational dysfunction when personality prejudices prevent the group from linking more subjectively. Challenge number 2, a fear of conflict. Artificial harmony or false unity pervades the group and inhibits creative discussion or debate. Some are excluded from offering ideas to improve the work. This can result in group glamour and illusion, which go unaddressed. Challenge number 3, lack of commitment. Unvoiced disagreement or resentment leads to a lack of effort or a lack of cooperativeness with the group vision. Individuals prioritize personal ambitions over the group plan, which weakens group energy. Challenge number 4, avoidance of accountability. Low standards are tolerated or never discussed, or standards may be enforced for some but not others. This can result in spiritual selfishness and a refusal of the group to discipline itself for the greater good of the work. Challenge number 5, inattention to results. The group is focused on personality concerns or process over group goals and outcomes. Criticism is given to some but not to others. Group energy is dissipated in secondary activities instead of the group plan for achieving unity, peace, and plenty. Collins and Senge say that without measurable results, groups fail to create real value. The new group work in the coming age entails a growing need to learn to cooperate and also identify the individual strengths and assets of group members to create a group that is stronger together than any one individual could be alone. In these groups, overcoming these many challenges will require a culture which includes a commitment to vulnerability and honesty from leaders, regular alignment through such techniques as meditation, and a committed focus on service and real results. When these 5 principles are lived and the 5 challenges are addressed, groups can become vehicles for profound transformation, whether advancing the plan or achieving organizational goals. At the heart of this group work, this new group work, are the Aquarian principles of goodwill, group consciousness, and right human relations that we, as members of the new group of world servers, are also seeking to demonstrate through our work within humanity. Through this, we can help humanity to achieve a more responsive culture and a level of cooperation and group creativity that will better serve the plan. This demands that through seeking to be of real service, that we rise to a new level of cooperation and are willing to transmit our selfishness into selflessness, our self-preservation into a desire to serve the group, and our self-pity into compassion, sympathy, and an understanding for the needs of others. Let us now meditate on how we can strengthen the hands of the new group of world servers to support our work of modeling for humanity the new ways of working together. Strengthening the hands of the new group of world servers. Group fusion. I am one with my group brothers, and all that I have is theirs. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Alignment. We recognize our place as a group within the heart center of the group of world servers. Mentally extend a line of lighted energy towards the spiritual hierarchy, the planetary heart center, to the Christ, the heart of love within the hierarchy, and towards Shambhala, where the will of God is known. Higher interlude. Hold the mind focused for a few moments on the planetary role of the group of world servers, mediating between hierarchy and humanity, responding to hierarchical impression, and meditating the plan into existence. Meditation. Reflect on the seed thought. Through the impression and expression of certain great ideas, humanity must be brought to the understanding of the fundamental ideals which will govern the new age. This is the major task of the new group of world servers. Precipitation. Visualize the precipitation of the will to good, essential love throughout the planet, from Shambhala, through the planetary heart, the hierarchy, through the Christ, the group of world servers, through all men and women of goodwill everywhere in the world, and finally, through the hearts and minds of the whole human family. Lower interlude. Consider the many ways in which the power of the one life and the love of the one soul are working out in the world through the members of the new group of world servers, so building the thought form of solution to world problems. Distribution. As the great invocation is sounded, visualize the irradiation of human consciousness with light, love, and power. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. 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 Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here and meditating together. This is the portion of the evening where if anybody has any thoughts or impressions they'd like to share, or ideas they'd like to discuss about anything from the talk or anything that's occurred to them in meditation or whatnot, please feel free. Just raise your hand in the chat, in the room, and we will call on you.
There's one hand up. Do you want to go to the hand?
Sure.
Okay. Is it unmute? You just go there. Ask to unmute.
Who is it?
It's Mahalik. Mahalik, go ahead. You should be able to mute yourself. Oh. Put his hand down.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's an accident. Keep it at the top so we can see the hand still coming to the top.
Right. We also have some people here in the room. No hands, huh? Well, I guess I'll speak. One of the reasons why I wanted to sort of talk about this idea from the angle of like business or organizational management was because I think it's something that everybody's experiencing. Everybody is working in various ways in groups, either directly with people daily or in some kind of network of people working together, whether you're virtual or not. And so more and more, it's creating this need to learn how to communicate better, to lead groups better, to understand the needs of people in groups, to be able to work effectively with each other, and also to learn how to create groups that are strong and can achieve their purposes. So it's really a fascinating field. And it's something that I have been observing for a long time. Any hands?
There's a hand up. I think it's Jacqueline Pogue. Okay.
Jacqueline, unmute yourself, please. Feel free to speak.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so happy you shared that meditation, and also what you said is a similar situation for myself. And I'm finding that there's more mobilization now amongst many people for this deeper dialogue in community to address issues or problems, but from the higher plane rather than just fixing circumstances or changing situations. So there's a deeper dive into what is at the root of these problems, or how can we meet the challenges of our time as groups. And I'm finding this in my community, not just through spiritual groups at all, but through our local library. David Balducci just gave $13 million to us and the library and the university to develop programs for deeper dialogue in community about the problems we face as humanity. So I was very much aligned with the meditation and what you shared. I also noticed in the chat that people would like a text of the speech, and I wondered, how can you provide that? Send it out on an email to us?
We usually post it in the chat,
Yeah.
and somebody will do that presently for you, I think.
Yeah, it is in the chat. We can repost it.
Oh.
And yeah, we'll repost it though.
Okay, thank you. I didn't see that. Sorry, I just, yeah, thank you. So thank you again. One thing I would add to that in the work also here is that I'm experiencing a lot of willingness for people not to need the word meditation, but to take periodic points in time of our interactions together of silence, to go back to the silence and ponder on not only what was said, but what hasn't been said that needs to be said, and to add those times of silence in group work for people to go deeper and explore not only what they want to comment on, but what was not said that could now be spoken into the center of the space. So I just really appreciate that. I'm in such alignment with this work tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. It's interesting that you bring up this idea of silence, because we've discussed this a lot in the office. I think one thing about silence is, from our understanding of Raja Yoga, it needs to be set up first by a proper alignment, because there are times of reflection in different forms of meditation. But just immediately going into silence isn't necessarily the most effective way to ponder or reflect if you haven't done a proper alignment with the soul, which is sort of the font of where these impressions and whatnot come from. So I would recommend that if anyone, is interested in this idea of silence, to make sure that you also create a proper framework for it through proper alignment.
Yeah, I can go ahead. There's another. You want to go to another hand?
Sure.
Yeah. John Heron.
John, please unmute yourself. Feel free to speak.
Thank you for the opportunity. And In reverse order, my goodness, what a profound idea. The fact that we don't just dive into silence or turn it on or off like it's a switch. I'd never heard that. And I sense you are precisely right. It's something that must be acquired by alignment first. Although we know from our time in the earliest education of preschool, grade school, what have you, it's always be silent first and then you start the work. I'm also struck by the fact that you'd mentioned the ray of ceremonial order and magic. Right now, we're at a very profound time at the tail end of Pisces, both the age and the sign for this year. So we've been experiencing the energy of rays 2 and 6. On Friday, we have the equinox, the entry into Aries, which is the time of rays 1 and 7. There's that ceremonial order and magic. And we see the seventh ray appearing in all sorts of subtle ways, I think. One is the phenomenon that we often call people upon the spectrum. What that really is stating is that these are people that are moved continuously to look for patterns, whether it's repeating a pattern or adhering to a pattern. I quietly speculate, friends, sometimes that perhaps these people are responding to the incoming seventh ray very powerfully in ways that they just haven't had a chance to properly integrate yet. And so we'll all get the chance to do that because collectively we as a group and the planet itself will now go through that time where we transition from one sign to another. In this case, the end of our zodiacal year and the beginning of a new one. And so it's with hope and great trepidation both that I look into the future. And I just want to thank you all for affording me the time to speak, especially in a stationing Mercury, because I find that it gives me pause to consider my words. And with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, John.
I was just gonna add, before we go to another young person.
Sure.
Thanks, Maya, for the talk. It's a really great one. It had me thinking a lot on how much more difficult things are in a group context and in the context of relationships. It almost, from one angle, it seems like it just makes everything harder, you know? It can. Of course, from another angle, it makes everything a lot easier as well because you have the whole strength and the capacity of the group. But it seems also looking sort of like a, like global scale as well. So many of our problems are focused on on the group problems, basically. Whereas perhaps in the past, it was all about sort of individual problems, overcoming individual problems. Now it's overcoming group problems is like, well, how do you even do that? It's like almost like we're at the beginning of something very new. And just observing the fact that both the spiritual challenges in Aquarius are focused in groups as well as spiritual opportunities. So it's almost like the whole nature of spiritual, almost like the working out of karma as well as the working out of dharma being focalized in the context of groups, which is essentially a conglomeration of relationships. This whole idea of like a focusing of spiritual, whatever, the spiritual field of work being focalized into something like relationships naturally is what coheres a group. And so it's just seeing all that happening, the context of your talk and the context of where humanity's going in the Aquarian age is like, oh, we're really setting up like a whole different paradigm, a whole different paradigm for the future. And it's not just a spiritual one, it's literally just everything, as much as everything's spiritual.
Yeah.
Really. So, thanks, Maya.
I think that's one thing that's really important about sort of grounding what we're doing and what we're trying to understand about the world in the most practical contexts, because it's easy to get very abstracted in a way that doesn't even seem real to most people, even though a lot of these advanced ideas that we're studying, you can see practical demonstrations if you know how to look what the meaning of them are, but it's, it's a level of subtlety that people are working on. But that's something that I've struggled with in my life, these tendencies to think that there's spirituality and then there's the world. And I've been trying to bring those two together all my life, because it was obviously a major confusion on my part. And I think that's, to see the deep spirituality of what seems apparently mundane in the world. Anyway, any more hands? Okay. We got more hands raised. Let's give me a name.
I can't see. It's
Joanne.
Joanne, do you want to unmute yourself? Joanne?
Joanne, you're muted again. Yeah, prompt her one more time. See what
Joanne, can you unmute yourself?
there.
Oh, there we go. It was a mistake. Sorry. Thank you very much for your talk.
Did you have something you wanted to share or discuss?
Joanne, you're muted again. Just it was a mistake. Oh,
Oh,
it was a mistake.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I see. I see
didn't
what
understand.
you-
Okay, well, who is our
Okay.
next hand?
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
That's it. Okay,
I could share.
please.
I think the time now is so different than anything in the past because of this, precisely because we're entering into the group stage, which has never really been very widespread in humanity. We know that DK at least says that the new groups will be composed of free souls, and that they won't obey anything but their soul, and if you think of like groups of people that are obeying their soul, it's so powerful, in terms of the lack of fear, which I think can be very prevalent in the old groups, the transition groups. But if a group's composed of free souls, that is such a liberating kind of overcoming a lot of the challenges that you were listing, of the present day groups. Because if someone is and a group is acting in concert with its soul, it's just so empowering. And just one other thing, John was bringing up a few astrological things. It's very interesting the time that we're going in for many reasons astrologically, but one of them that just relates to your topic is Pluto in Aquarius. The last time that occurred was quite a while ago. It was in the time of the American Revolution, French revolutions. And it's now happening for another 20 years or so. But there's a particular aspect of it that some astrologers have been studying that's really fascinating. It's called when Pluto goes out of bounds, goes outside of its normal distance from the equatorial plane. And when a woman just wrote a whole book on it, and she said that whenever this happens, which was at the time of our revolution, there is a complete surge of freedom searching. We all hear about that for the whole Aquarian age, but this is really magnified when it goes out of bounds. And this is happening now. And it's a time when there is freedom and there is a call for group work. And so the fact that we're entering into it now for the first time in although 250 years will be so much more powerful than any other previous time. And so I think that that's a really significant. The last time Pluto went out of bounds, it only goes out of bounds in the polarity of Leo and Aquarius. So the last time it went out of bounds was during the war and after the war, the Second World War. And that's the time when Pluto's in Leo, that's the time when there's a focus on concentration in strong individuals, good and bad, and organizations that are top down. Whereas when Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's been a time when there's a downsizing, when it's a group focus. And so I just thought that's a really interesting astrological configuration qualifying this time. And we see so many of the Pluto and Leo generation coming up to perhaps moving away from positions of authority in the world. And not that the Pluto in Aquarius people are coming into power because they're just being born, but it's the people who are living at this time and partaking of this energy in a new way that are going to help to shift things out from the control by a few strong individuals into a more group focus. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like a Pluto wobble or something, like an apogee.
Yeah, it
or-
goes outside of the
Yeah, that's
path.
curious that, I guess a lot of different celestial bodies probably have some irregularities, but you don't always know what the impact is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, ever since I was a teenager, and I took a class in high school called The Individual and the Institution. And it was all trying to understand, the relationship of a person to any group, society, a family, a workplace, a nation. And yeah, I think you have to have strong individuality. But the mystery of the soul is that in reality, there's only one soul. It's like people talk about my soul, your soul, but in reality, it's has different shades, but it's one soul. And so the more people are aligned with it, I see it as that being able to decentralize so that personalities can be viewed as the building blocks of cooperative effort in a detached, decentralized way that values that contribution and values but values its contribution to a group effort, like in this biological phenomena that's a reality. More sophisticated species have many lives comprising them that are cooperating to allow that, just like our own bodies. We have many different living beings in our bodies cooperating to allow us to live. So anyway, yeah, it's a fascinating topic, endless really, of what's possible that we need to learn. And yeah, the Piscean phenomena is that very rigid, top-down, very controlling, fear-based, punishment-based kind of model. But to have a truly Aquarian model, I think you have to have people who are liberated as souls, but responsible to the group, not sort of to their whims. Because when people say freedom, that means a lot of things to a lot of people. And it's easy to, I think, misconstrue it means do whatever you want whenever you want and no consequences. And I don't think that's what real freedom is in context of the group, for the betterment, of the group anyway. So yeah, it's a really good topic. Any more hands?
It's probably
Okay, all right. All right, everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you for participating in the meditation. And the next time we're going to meet is going to be for the full moon in Aries, which will be April 1st on a Wednesday at 6 p.m. So have a good evening. Thank you. I should have mentioned other stuff.